Okay, so this video is part 2 of lesson 122. Continuing with page 243 or 181, exercise A. This is sentence number 2. The loudspeaker sounded to warn the people of the dangerous surf. The first phrase I see is the infinitive phrase to warn the people of the dangerous surf. This entire phrase is being used as an adverb because it's answering the question, why, about the verb sounded. The loudspeaker sounded why? To warn the people of the dangerous surf. But now look at this. Inside the infinitive phrase, there's a prepositional phrase. Is that okay? Absolutely. Of the dangerous surf. It's a prepositional phrase. It's being used as an adverb. What question is it answering and about which word? I think this one is a little tricky. It's answering a question about warn, and the question would be why, but I think it's kind of not as clear to see. Why did it need to warn? Because there was a dangerous surf is kind of the thinking there. So, of the dangerous surf is an adverb phrase modifying the verb, warn, or to warn. The infinitive verb, to warn. Okay, I want to move on to exercise B. The first sentence says, Pierre Curie, born in Paris in 1859, became a noted physicist. And our directions this time tell us to underline prepositional phrases and then decide if they're being used as adjectives or adverbs. We're going to have to think back and remember the question's adjectives answer to do this one. So, I see two prepositional phrases, in Paris and in 1859. In both instances, in is the preposition, and then Paris is the object of the preposition, and 1859 is also an object of the preposition. Numbers like that can be an object of the preposition. So, in Paris, is it an adjective or an adverb? Well, what question is it answering and about which word? If you guessed that in Paris is an adverb, you are correct. It is answering the question where about the verb born. Born where? And in 1859 is also an adverb because it's answering the question when about the verb born. Sentence number 2. His future wife moved to Paris to study about physics and chemistry. What prepositional phrases do we see? There are two prepositional phrases. One is to Paris. To is the preposition, Paris is the noun object of the preposition. The second is about physics and chemistry, with about being the preposition, and then there's a compound object, physics and chemistry. But what about to study? So if to Paris is a prepositional phrase, how come to study is not? Well, that's an infinitive, remember, because study is a verb. To study, that's the infinitive verb form of study. But our instructions for exercise B didn't tell us anything about marking infinitives, so it just said to do prepositional phrases. Now we need to figure out what questions they're answering and about what words. Are they adverb prepositional phrases or adjective ones? To Paris is doing an adverb job because it's saying moved where. It's answering the question where about the verb moved. About physics and chemistry is also doing an adverb job. It's answering the question what? Or, to study is an infinitive, so it's a verb. Well, wait, I'm sorry, back up. We can't use what. What is not an adverb question. How about why? He moved to Paris to study why? He wanted to study about physics and chemistry. I think that would work. That's an adverb question. Okay, now I want to skip down to sentence number 4 because this one has an adjective in it. So we'll do a sample one of those. They worked with vigor and soon made a discovery of immense importance. We're looking for prepositional phrases. And there are two of them, with vigor and of immense importance. And it turns out that with vigor is an adverb phrase because it's answering the question, how about the verb worked? They worked how? With vigor. It's answering an adverb question and it's modifying a verb, so it's an adverb phrase. The second one, of immense importance, is being an adjective here because it's answering the question, what kind, about the noun discovery. And that is an adjective thing to do. Okay, let's move on and do a couple from exercise C. This time it tells us to mark off all infinitive phrases, and then we have to decide if they're a noun, adjective, or adverb. You heard right, the phrase could do the job of an adjective, an adverb, or even a noun. And it's doing a noun job in this sentence, so let me show you what I mean. Okay, so the infinitive phrase here is to put first things first. My counsel to you is to put first things first. And put is a verb, it's an action, so to put is not a prepositional phrase, it's an infinitive verb form. So the whole phrase, to put first things first, is doing the job of a noun in this sentence. Here's why. Because the subject is counsel and the verb is. Counsel is what? You're left asking the question, it is what? What? Counsel is what? And this whole phrase is the answer to that question. Counsel is to put first thing first. That's what. So that's doing a predicate nominative or predicate noun job. If you notice the diagram, you can see how I have counsel as the subject and is as the verb, and it's a linking verb. So that's how I know that I'm either going to have a predicate adjective or a predicate noun. Those are my only two choices after a linking verb. So it's answering the question what, not what kind, not how many, not whose, but what. So it's being a thing, a noun, an idea, whatever. Sentence number 2 says, the converts were eager to learn more about their Savior. So where is an infinitive phrase in this sentence? If you said to learn more about their Savior, you are correct. But what job is it doing in the sentence? And what word is it modifying? Because as I hope you're seeing by now, it doesn't matter what something is, if it's a word or a phrase or a clause. What matters is what job is it doing in the sentence. And phrases aren't limited to just doing adjective or adverb jobs. As this exercise demonstrates, they can be nouns. Just what job is it doing in the sentence? So, what job is to learn more about their Savior doing in this sentence? It is doing an adverb job, and it is answering its question about the adjective eager. And if you don't see how eager is an adjective, look at the little diagram. Converts were eager. The diagram shows us converts is the subject, were is the verb, and were is a linking verb, and so eager is a predicate adjective. We can test that by putting it before converts. Were they eager converts? Yes. So eager is a predicate adjective. And remember, adverb phrases or adverbs, they modify adjectives, and that's exactly what's happening here. The whole phrase is giving us more information about their eagerness. Maybe, not exactly which specific adverb question here, it's kind of ambiguous, but they were eager to what extent to learn more about their Savior. They were eager how to learn more about their Savior. So to learn more about their Savior is modifying eager in this sentence. So it's an adverb phrase. Let us do one more together, because I'll bet you guys are really getting the hang of this by now. Exercise C number 3. To do God's will is to know His blessings on your life. We're looking for an infinitive phrase. Do you see it? Do you see them, rather? I should say, because there are two. Number 1 is to do God's will. Number 2 is to know his blessings on your life. Both of these infinitive phrases are nouns. Why, you ask? Well, I've made the diagram. Let's look at the diagram to see what we know. What we know right now is the verb is. And what the sentence is saying is that something is. What is? To do God's will is. That whole phrase, that's what is, right? That makes that whole phrase the subject. And subjects are nouns. And then, to do God's will is what? To know his blessings on your life, that's what. So that makes it a noun because it's a what? It's a thing. And in my mind, it makes sense like this. What is what? Or you might say, something is something. But we can see in this format that they are nouns. Something is something, right? So somebody asked me in class a couple weeks ago, what is the purpose of diagramming? To me, this is the purpose of diagramming. It makes sense. It's like a sentence map. It helps me understand what the sentence is saying when I think about it in this picture way.